All right. So, man.
Not sponsored.
Yep. Proud sponsor. These these Seagrams are actually pretty damn good. Um, man, it's been a hell of a week.
Ugh,
Yeah,
one
it's
hell
been
of a week.
it's been a hell of a week. Oh my god. But yeah, nah. Unhealthy habits, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of unhealthy habits out there.
Just a
Um,
huge plethora.
I guess we'll touch base on a couple unhealthy habits, such as drinking, unhealthy eating. Any others you want to add?
Uh, definitely drugs,
Drugs. Um,
porn.
yeah, basically anything that someone takes in but doesn't reap a positive benefit in their longevity of life.
Yeah,
I feel like if it doesn't benefit you longevity, um, then what's the point of doing it? You're
yeah.
basically doing it and not reaping a real benefit. It's a temporary benefit.
It's also those dopamines, man. Those
Yeah,
dopamines, they'll get you hooked on pretty much on anything. Really, I mean, if it satisfies you, then you're gonna keep on wanting it, which is natural because that's what the human body likes, and if what the human body likes, it's gonna keep on wanting to go back to it over and over and over again.
yeah,
And then your tolerance for that is going to grow even higher and higher and higher. So the stuff that used to satisfy you so quick and easy is now taking longer because you just build that tolerance towards it.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, we all can talk about a family member that has been in that situation where they've had an unhealthy habit. I definitely know personally my unhealthy habit can be eating. I don't always eat healthy. There's a lot of stuff I should probably cut out of my diet and this and that, especially trying to go to the gym and, work
Yeah.
work towards a positive
Well, the
outlook.
thing is, it's so expensive to eat healthy.
It really is.
It's so expensive.
It really is.
It's
Like,
ridiculous.
and it's a wonder why obesity is such an issue. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like a little meat on the bones,
Yeah.
but my thing is, if you want someone to eat healthy, lose weight, and become a healthy weight, especially like doctors have stopped even bothering saying, "Hey, you're overweight." Like you literally go and get weighed, and you look at the chart that they have, and it immediately says, "Oh, you're obese."
Well, the way that they characterize it, and if you want, you can look this up. If your body fat is over, I believe, if it's over like 20, then you're considered obese because that's how their scaling is.
Yeah,
Which
but
is it's kind of fucked up, but at the same time, it's just the harsh reality. And to really like deplete yourself down towards a nice range of body fat, it takes a lot of pounding. It takes a lot of like conditioning, a lot of reps, a lot of sets, staying consistent on what you're doing for your workouts, what you're doing for your workouts, and also definitely eating right. I mean, you can't work out a bad diet. You really can't because the food stays stagnant and it stays there.
yeah, exactly. Ignore my horrible spelling.
You're
Obviously,
good.
I spelled body wrong. Um, yeah, greater than 25% in men or 30% in women. That is crazy.
Yeah.
That's
No.
crazy because that's a low percentage. That's not even like, oh, like
Like
45.
40 or 60?
Yeah,
No.
40 or
It's
60.
just it's
A
literally
slim margin.
if you are in that category,
I
then
know
you are
I'm
obese.
in that category, and I don't even like. I mean,
I'm definitely in that category, but the
but
thing is, it's just
yeah,
playing around with those numbers and stuff like that. Like numbers don't lie. You
no,
can you can try to say everything underneath the sun and moon, but numbers don't lie, unfortunately,
no,
and it's really hard to. And then Yeah, going back to the unhealthy habits, man. I mean, it's hard to shake off certain stuff. I mean, I've tried to go cold turkey on drinking and stuff like that, and it worked for a good amount of time. But then after I dealt with the thing that I dealt with and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it's just we all kind of just anchor back to what we were using for crutches.
Yeah.
You know, because
Exactly.
if it
The
lifted
training
us up,
wheels. Yeah.
yeah, if it lifted us up at that moment, then we're gonna revert back to it because it's gonna help us kind of sustain that type of like mindset where it's just like, oh well, shit, this just happened. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go get a beer. I'm like, damn, I'm so stressed out. All right, I'm gonna go get a beer. You know, so it
Yeah.
sucks because obviously beer's not definitely not good for you, but
Yeah.
you know, there's ways to like control it and like minimize it. You know, moderation, you know, just trying to reel it back so that way you don't fuck yourself over later in the future or if you're
Yeah.
waking up in the morning.
Yeah. Definitely.
The slugness.
I mean, it's kind of like you do that unhealthy habit until you realize or you get told like, hey, this is affecting how you function.
yeah,
Like, hey, like you've been drinking and you didn't wake up this morning to go to the gym or to go to the beach or like
it's a
to
different feeling, bro.
Yeah.
Because when you don't do the things that you
Enjoy.
wanted to do and
Yeah.
say, it's just it sucks, bro. Because it's like, oh, I want to draw, I
Yep,
want to
draw,
read,
yeah.
I want to record, I want to like make music, I want to play on my turntables. It's just like when you look at all the stuff that you could be doing in your time span,
Mhm.
and then you kind of shorted that because you decided to go to one of your unhealthy habits. Now,
Yeah.
if it's one of those unhealthy habits that you can kind of work around with, then it kind of plays into your favor. But then the longevity of it is that it's always going to come back and creep up, and then it's going to slug you.
Prime example. I mean, like people have a financial issue.
Yeah.
I'm guilty for
Yeah,
a long
no,
time, and even
Same.
I mean, like all these subscriptions you can get. You can get a subscription to Netflix, Hulu, Disney
Amazon
Plus,
Prime.
Amazon Prime, Walmart Plus.
I mean,
Sam's Club.
there really
It's
isn't.
endless.
Yeah, there's really no more. Like, tell me one person you know that still watches TV.
Nobody. I don't know
There's
anybody.
not a single person that
It's
actually
all
still.
streaming.
I mean, if you're gonna watch the news, then yeah, because you gotta get it live. But even that, you can get it live.
Yeah, you can get it live. You can get it-
WWE switched to a streaming service, and they were just nothing but strictly on TV. But then they had to jump on the bandwagon because they realized that, like, okay, TV's becoming obsolete. So
Yeah, you
now
get-
we need to.
You
convert.
get left behind.
Mhm.
You're gonna get left behind. And
Mhm.
the thing is, you have to evolve with the current times.
Yeah.
Sucks, but it's reality. I mean, regardless, streaming is much cheaper than cable because cable's like a couple $100 sometimes.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
I remember when I was living with my pops, that's how that crazy that was because we had like the whole 9 yards and he wanted, the fastest internet and all that stuff like that. So we did the whole 9 yards and like the bill was just like, you could see the look on his face. He's like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, holy crap. It's like, I'm paying like 200 and something dollars
Mm-hmm.
for this bill, and it's like, why am I paying 200 and something dollars when I could be paying like
That's why everyone's
maybe
just
$50, $75 for a multiple streaming services?
yeah, everybody just goes for the internet. Everybody just goes for the internet pack. Why? Because you can do everything on the internet. You can post, you can freaking record, you can look up videos, you can stream, you can. There's just so much stuff that you can do with just internet alone. And then another unhealthy habit is like drugs, like smoking weed and shit like that. Like when I was smoking and stuff like that, I used to be able to smoke a good decent amount. But now
Yeah.
it's just like I'm a lightweight. Like I can only like do one puff, then I'll take a break, and then if I'm kind of mellowed out and I kind of like coast myself down, then I'll go back to it. But like I don't know, like
It's not the same.
yeah, it's all right. It's not like something that like I definitely need. Like I don't know. For me, it's like it's just not a necessity for me to actually to smoke
Yeah.
weed. It's just it's not. Now like me vaping and stuff like that, it is addictive. It is addictive. But it's something that you kind of do like on your free time and stuff like that. But then you're always itching for that puff.
Yeah.
Like you go on your break. All right, I'm gonna take a puff. Oh,
prime example. I mean, everybody says weed is not addicting.
It is. It is.
See, CBD isn't addicting because I could put that cream on all day. I could take those gummies all day.
Well, if you're doing the carts, maybe, but even then, that's like because I was doing CBD carts.
That's more of a habit than addicting, and I think that's kind of what they're thinking. They're like, oh, this is a habit of me doing it. No, like people like prime example, Sean. He freaking smokes weed. He doesn't have any. He's like, dude, I gotta get some. Like, dude, I gotta go to the dispensary. Mom, you gotta take me to the dispensary. You gotta take me to the dispensary. It's like, dude, chill. It's like it's not that deep. Like you're making it more deep than it is, and that's just showing your colors that you're actually like.
It's literally their bread and butter. It's their bread and butter because they need that. They need that high. They need that dopamine release. Yeah. But this is the funny thing, though, that people don't realize is that you are able to get dopamine naturally because our body produces dopamine naturally.
But it's ciphered.
It's ciphered, but there's ways that we can uncipher it by doing certain things that makes us happy, like cleaning, just being in a chill environment, reading, going for nature walks, exercise is a huge major one because when you get done doing cardio and stuff like that, like you'll feel pretty good because you have yourself a nice run. But if you're going like ham, like shout out to David Goggins, like dude, like you put it in that work.
You're in the zone.
Yeah, you're in the zone, and then you get this thing that's called runner's high, and you're just like on a nice constant pace. You're not running fast, but you're running at a nice constant pace that you're just eating up the miles.
Vision. You're just this is what I'm doing. I'm in the zone. Like I don't need to speed up. I don't need to slow down. I'm going through it.
Another one too is I'm a little bit of a victim to this too. Caffeine. Yeah. Caffeine is addictive because some people be like, oh, I can't function without my mocha latte, or I can't function without my Starbucks and stuff like that. It's like, what the fuck were you doing before Starbucks? What the fuck were you doing before coffee?
Yeah, exactly. Like it wasn't always there.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And then when you're doing these pre-workouts and stuff like that, like I was doing, like, dude, when I was getting money, like getting my paychecks like on a weekly basis and stuff like that, just always going to the store, just like two or three cans of energy drinks. I wouldn't drink them all in one day, but
you literally saw I've had like 3 cups of coffee and freaking dude. I took a CBD like energy thing and I'm drinking soda. Like, it doesn't affect me.
Because like, your tolerance is so high built into it. There was one time that I took a caffeine pill in the morning, and then throughout the day, I had my little energy drink, but I saved it because I was working my doubles, and I would get out from the second job, drink the energy drink, so that way I had the energy to do the second job, which the second job wasn't really all that much. I probably didn't really need it, but I felt like my body needed it. When in reality, my body probably didn't need it. It could have just been like settling, coasting, but that's how much like the body thrives off of it because it's so used to getting that caffeine.
Repetition.
Yeah, not just the repetition, but the induce of that caffeine that's constantly getting shot in your body. Then when you are cut off from it, like it. For me, it's extremely hard to like just like cut off from like caffeine. Like for me, like I just like. Now, that I can admit, like, for me, I absolutely need that. It's probably not the healthiest, but for me, like, when I'm on my caffeine, like, I'm just, like, today when we went to the gym, I was in the zone, especially doing those squats. I didn't even think I was going to be able to do the I keep forgetting that machine. It's the chest press machine. Yeah. With the, I didn't think I was going to be able to do, like, 245s on both sides. And then on top of that, I decided to even test myself even more and throw the 10s on the end. But
well, and I mean, and the thing is too, even when you were doing the tricep extensions, and I was like, move it down, 110, let's go, and you were like, I'm like, nope, stop, hold it, and you were like, just looking at me, and I could see you shaking, and you were like, and I'm like. You can do it. I know you can do it. This is where I'm going to... your reserves are coming. Come on, like I'm gonna push you.
Yeah, when you tap into those reserves, it's crazy because like for me, when I get into those moments, I take my mind into a deep dark place that I'm digging inside what I call the cookie jar, and I'm thinking about all the shit that I've been through and all the shit that people put me through, and I'm using it as ammunition, and I'm just fueling myself, and then I'll stop and I'll just absorb it all in, and then I'll just start blasting.
But yeah, again, and I mean not sponsored, but Little Nightmares. It's a video game.
Oh yeah,
it dives depth into what a child experiences and the trauma, and it's like exactly like.
I wish I would have played that game.
Other stuff. I mean, we dig deep into ourselves and we take that trauma and we got to try and use it towards pushing ourselves beyond that breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, a lot of times that's what it comes down to when you're addicted to an unhealthy habit or just you have an unhealthy habit. You really got to dig deep and pull it out and be like, hey, this is unhealthy. I need to dig deep and get past this. How do I do that? And a lot of times it takes a reality check, like your wife saying, I'm going to leave you.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the kids and we're going to leave because you need to
get your shit together.
Stop drinking, stop smoking. Like, you got cancer and you're still smoking. Like, stop. And it's like, not necessarily like they're not telling you like you got to quit cold turkey or I'm like taking the kids and leaving. Like it's like get help.
Yeah, either get help or like
work towards it.
Yeah,
focus.
Figure your shit out. And I feel like that's a lot of things. I stumbled upon this like not too long ago. It was someone I was talking to on Snapchat, and she was like saying that like a lot of people nowadays are like too oriented about having someone. Like having a significant other and stuff like that, as opposed to them just having themselves, because a lot of people, they don't do that deep dive. Like, that is a huge, like, question that I feel like people kind of stray away from about asking, like, who you are. Like, do you know yourself? And then, like, people be like, yeah, I know myself. Like, I know who I am. I'm like, but, like, do you really know yourself?
Yeah.
Like, really examine yourself. Like, that's another thing that I take to consideration, the accountability mirror. Because it's holding all your skeletons right from your face. It's holding what your flaws are, what you need to fix, and what you need to take accountability for. Like if you know that you're slacking in certain areas, you know you could be going to the gym a little bit more, or you know for a fact that there's certain things that like your falls are.
Yeah.
You know, you could kind of use that so that way you kind of have like a little bit of a study guide for yourself, so that way you kind of build a structure, you know? And sometimes it does, like, people don't like to bash on themselves. People don't like saying, like, oh, like, you shouldn't call yourself fat. You shouldn't call yourself lazy. Like, no, I'm going to call myself lazy. I'm going to call myself a fat piece of shit because I need to get that established in my mind, because I need that tough love. I need that stern, so that way I'm able to be like, bro, like, this isn't fucking okay.
Yeah.
Stop being okay where you are and fix that shit. Because if you don't, you're going to keep on living your life so comfortable that when shit hits the fan, you don't know what to do, because you've been on such a steady streak that you don't know what the fuck tough is. Then when life smacks you in the mouth and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. Yeah, because you never got put in that predicament.
You never pushed yourself.
You never pushed yourself, and it's always about like pushing yourself and figuring out like, you play Final Fantasy, breaking that limit. Doing that limit break and knowing that this is where you are and you can go past that. Who you are is not who you're going to be in the next years or so. You can always adapt, and that's the blessing thing about being a human being, is that we're adaptive. We can assess the situation and figure out certain stuff, like especially like trying to fit things in certain areas and stuff like that. So it's, you know.
Yeah. But, no, and I mean, it all stems down to you. I mean, my wife, for example, she said, oh, this drawing, like, this part of the drawing sucks. And I'm like, yeah, it does. Because you said it does. Because if you believe it sucks, you're drawing it. You're the one, at the end of the day, you showing me and me going, oh, that's gorgeous. I mean, I'll say it. I'll be like, hey, like, that's really good. I like that.
Yeah.
Like, and genuinely mean it. But at the same time, it's like, I can say, oh, wow, that's beautiful. I love it. It looks great. But
Yeah.
then if she's like,
If you
I
give
don't know, it looks off and it's
yeah,
if
if you give it too much praise, now you're feeding too much into it. You want to give it just enough so that way the person can kind of be like, oh, well, maybe I should tweak this or maybe I should tweak that. You're your own worst critic. That's one thing I definitely know, especially when it comes to drawing. Like me, I'll get overly excited about how good it's coming out, but then the rest of it will come out like shit. So then I'm like, oh, fuck. But if you take your time on each part, then you're just like, all right, I got to do that, I got to do that, then I got to do the torso, then I got to do the leg, and then I got to do the hair. But you can't be like bam, 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 bam all over the place. You got to take it piece by piece by piece by piece, and then it all comes together like freaking Exodia. Like, you know what I'm saying? You just capture all those pieces. Like, if you have a perfectly good image right there. What's her name?
Oh, Lucy.
Yeah, you have a perfect good picture right there of Lucy. And if I was going to draw her, all I need is just to get that image right there. And I can literally take a paper and just literally stencil, because I have a visual image now. But now I know, I see where her elbow is and how it's pointed like that, and how the curves are and how the legs are. Now I'm just taking it piece by piece by block, because it's all about the shapes. I know the head is a spear. I know the torso is like a trapezoid. Yeah, it's like, you want to go for like the more perfect angles. So if you're gonna go about it, you would say like first you just do the basic shape, like
half.
So you do like a trapezoid. So it's just like a elongated square. Then with the legs, you can really like go knit and gritty to it, and then you can do a line, and then you can do the circle, and that's like the old way, or you can do it like block by block, and then you can do like, square there, or you could do like even a circle and then feed it down like a cylinder. You would do the legs as a long cylinder, because that's how it's portrayed, because it's it's in that form, especially because she has thick thighs. She doesn't have skinny thighs. It's thick thighs.
Yeah.
And you would go with the fingers, same thing. Like, everything is shaped base. So when you get down to that nit and gritty, you're able to dissect it. But yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I could go on a tangent about it, but it's just you got your hobbies, and then you got your unhealthy hobbies, or unhealthy habits.
And I think a lot of it is self-accountability, holding yourself accountable and being strict on what you do with your daily life.
Oh yeah, like discipline. Yeah, discipline yourself.
Discipline. Because like there's been days where my wife's been like, "Oh, I can't do this," or "Oh, I can't get this vacuum cleaner to work," and it's like, yeah, you can't. Like, you probably can't, because once you say you can't do it, that's it. It's over.
Yeah,
like, you said it.
You put it, like, I'm not trying to say like the whole law of attraction thing, because like that's it's a right thing, but it's not like something that I would really like try to get too much into. But
it's once something's in motion, it stays in motion unless you stop it.
When you say it too, it's more like imprinted and stuff like that. But if you kind of tell yourself that you can do it, or you kind of like take a step back and then like you kind of look at it, you're like, okay, how am I going to do this? Okay.
And that's the stop in motion, because you're like, I can't do this. I can't go to work every day. It's just too much. I'm too tired.
Well, that's why they got those three. They got those three: the fight, flight, but no one talks about that third one, the pause.
Yeah.
Because people like just freeze because they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They, like, again, I said, they never been put in that predicament. So you got to kind of analyze it, and you got to keep this like calm. You got to keep that like obtaining like what you're seeing and stuff like that, because if you're able to observe it, you're able to dissect it.
Yeah, exactly. So, to reel it back, other unhealthy habits.
I would say definitely. I hate talking about it, but like definitely porn.
Porn,
because porn is like it can be very addictive, but then again, it's all over the place.
Yeah,
it's all over the place. You
it
can't.
Can be free. Some states allow this.
And you can hit remove ad.
Website.
You can hit all you want, and it's still
people. And back to the whole subscription thing. You can subscribe to some. Oh my god, it's crazy. And I mean,
I don't.
OnlyFans. I mean, I know that's another topic. Let's not.
I was gonna mention that, but I was just like,
let's reel it back. But no, you're right. Porn, all that other stuff it's a habit. It's a bad, unhealthy habit,
which connects to the whole dopamine high.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't gotta be like, oh, like he's a Christian. That's why he's saying porn's bad. No.
Not saying it's bad. I mean, you do what you got to do and stuff like that. Like,
but doing it over and over, overly and making excessive. It a habit,
overly excessive, and then
everybody does something bad. Everybody. That's like that show we were watching, Daredevil, where the
Daredevil or Punisher.
Daredevil, when they were in the courtroom, and the guy's like, anybody who does good habits can easily do a bad habit, but it's the same way. Anybody who does bad habits can do a good habit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could do, like we said, do it in moderation. Maybe you watch a video or two here and there sporadically throughout the week, throughout the month, whatever the case. But if you're, like, relying on it every single day, that's when it's becoming unhealthy.
Well, the thing is, too, and this is a lyric that was from Lil Wayne, and he was saying that, like, as soon as I come to my senses. There's a little knowledge to that, because you gotta think about it. When us guys, or even girls, when they are aroused and like they feel some type of way, next the dude next door or someone, whatever like that, message you and stuff like that. They're being like, flirty and stuff like that. They'll be like texting you and stuff like that. You kind of like it, but then it kind of like gets you like, feeling some type of way. And then next, like y'all start talking and then like start sending pictures and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you kind of like hold yourself, I hate to say, but if the person's not attractive, then you're like kind of like engaging to it because you're feeling like
some type of way. The dopamines are high.
Yeah, like she's not attractive, but like damn, like I'm really trying to bust this nut, and it's just like dude, like bro. Don't do it, fam.
You need to control yourself.
Like, listen, bro. Like, here, watch this video. Do what you gotta do. Come to senses and reel that bitch back.
That's exactly it. I mean, that's where it's acceptable to be like, okay, you know what? Like, I don't want to hurt this person. Like, this is an actual person. That's another thing
too, because it's going to impact them, because pretty much all you really did was use them for sex.
And then if they think it's something more, you're leading them on, and the same vice versa. If a woman is like, oh, like this is.
Oh yeah, tons, bro, tons of times, because it's just like girls be like video chat or whatever like that. And next thing you know, y'all video chat, and then like after you guys get done video chat, and then like y'all do what y'all do on the camera. The next you know, you're blocked.
Yeah.
There's no recollection or anything like that. There's nothing. She's gone. She's gone. Yep. She got what she needed from you. Y'all did whatever on the camera. Maybe like you busted a nut on the camera, or she was like, she got her fix and like she squirted or whatever like that. She got her fix, you got your fix, and then y'all both go your separate ways. Now that's fine and all, because there's plenty of fishes in the sea, but then like you said, how that impacts that person is like, damn, like I was really fucking with this person, because y'all could have been talking maybe months.
Prime example, countless of my past relationships were like that, where it was like, oh, I thought this was really serious, and then all of a sudden they break it off, and it's like, dude. And then when I get upset with it, and I'm like telling them, like, I mean, I'm voicing my opinion, yo, that's an asshole move. Like, I thought it was a little bit more, but you're telling me it wasn't. Then why didn't you just, kibosh?
Yeah.
Like, done with it.
Just be honest by the get-go, because I feel like that's what people intend to let go. See what I did there? But it's the truth though, because if you're not honest with the person by the get-go, and you don't tell them like what you want or like what you're looking for, or say if you're not looking for something, I'm just trying to have fun, or I'm just trying to, okay, good, I respect that. All right, do you, boo? You want to go ahead and fuck around with a bunch of guys, and you want to get pictures, and you want to show your titties, and like, all right, like that's fine, but don't make it seem like you're trying to make a commitment when you're not trying to make a commitment. You're
Exactly.
over here flirting with me, saying "Hey, love" or "Hey, baby" or
Hey,
oh,
boo,
like,
or
yeah,
whatever.
like oh, you're like the sweetest guy I ever met, or like
Yeah.
oh my god, like I love your personality,
Or like, oh, you actually care about my feelings
Yeah.
and talk to me and
I've
listen.
never had a guy talk to me like hey, bro, I don't gotta
Like-
tell you, bro.
Like, dude, am I your therapist? Like,
You know what I'm
fuck?
saying? And,
Like-
and that's the fucked up thing, though, is because you talk to them on the level that they've never been talked to. So then you seem like this god to them, and they are just like, and wow, because they're like, wow, usually guys are asking me for like titty pics, or like usually guys are asking me for like feet pics or something like that, but you're not asking me because I'm a fucking gentleman.
Yeah.
Well, like I was raised right. I don't gotta like. I'm not saying I gotta do that. I'm not saying I gotta do anything to get you wet or try to get you to send me pictures. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna do me because at the end of the day, I'm always gonna do me. Why am I gonna change myself just to get pictures from? I hate to say it again, but like I got porn.
Yeah.
If I really wanted to freaking bust a nut or something like that, I could just do that shit, or I could keep myself occupied. Occupation is gonna be freaking addiction over all the time, because if you were able to cloud that shit, it's like throwing a cloth over freaking something that is like detrimental. Like, oh damn, like there's a hole in that wall. No, there's not. You know what I'm saying? Like you just you gotta clothe that, because it's gonna always keep on coming back. But if you cover it, out of sight, out of mind, you'll be good. But it's just you gotta be honest. You gotta.
And I mean, especially like, and that doesn't go for like high school, because I feel like high school is kind of like,
well, like from like middle school and high school, because there was like a little bit of like a plethora, like
well,
there was a good decent amount of range.
At that time, you're learning and you're playing a game. That's really what you're doing. I hate to say it, and I hate to put it that way for anyone who gets hurt in high school, like whether you're male or female.
Yeah, but the thing is,
but you got to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
You really do, throughout high school at least. Once you get out of high school, that stuff has to stop.
Yeah.
It's got to come to an end.
Well, and that's the thing though, because like a lot of times, like people don't grow up.
And they think they got away with it all through high school, and they're like, oh, I can keep getting away with it. And it's like, no, like that nips in the butt. Like as soon as you go out, because you fuck with the wrong person, you could get really screwed up.
Because it ain't the same like it was when you were in high school. It ain't the same like it was in middle school. Like people getting like frustrated or getting pissed. I'm like, bro, like let that shit, like leave that girl alone. Like just drop that shit. Like stop trying to keep on chasing something that, you know what I'm saying?
This is something that's already gone.
Or already gone. Like it's not worth it.
And I mean, prime example. I was not the victim, but I was the one inflicting it. And so one of the girls I went out with, we'd break up, back together, break up, get back together. And I mean, that playing stuff. But I mean, I think I was a sophomore at the time. I can't remember. But it was high school. So playing the game.
Right.
And the girl was super nice, super chill, you know. But then I had a friend come in, and he got with her, and then I hit her back up. Now, I didn't know that she was with this friend, but I hit her back up, and I was like, hey, you want to get back together? And she was like, yeah, sure. Well, next thing I know, that friend messaged me upset that she had broke up with him. And I was like, oh shit.
It's funny because I know exactly what you're talking about, and I know exactly who you're talking about, but I got you.
But no, and I was like, at that point, I was like, and I mean, I think this is part of when my mind grew up, because I was like, listen, I can't keep playing with this girl's emotions, like reeling her in, throwing her out, reeling her in. I was playing fishing with her. Yeah. And I was just like,
you throw the hook and then you reel it back.
I mean, the good thing is I wasn't physically abusive, or you know, I wasn't like telling her that she was I'm breaking up with you because you're ugly or this or that. Like I would just break up, say, hey, I can't do this, like I can't see you enough. Like that was the excuses I was using. And they are excuses regardless at the end of the day. But it ended up, I broke it off because I was like, listen, like this can't work. Like I heard you were with my friend and you broke it off with him just to come back to me. Like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be that kind of person.
Right.
And I was like, not only that, but I've been playing with you. I haven't been treating you right. And of course, anybody who's on the offense side, they're like, oh, no, you're fine. Like, I just we don't have to end this. They're trying to hold it together.
Yeah, they try to force the puzzle piece that it's not its place.
It's not its place. And not only that, but you've already, like, shown disloyalty. And that's what I did. I showed a lot of disloyalty. And she was trying to hold it together. And I was like, listen, if I'm this disloyal at the start, like, what happens if we get deeper into this? Am I going to be more disloyal? I'm like, you need to venture off and, like, feel actual, like, other feelings. Like, you can't just stick with this one feeling of, back and forth. And I mean, she had an older brother too, so it was like,
I feel you on
I'm not
that.
trying to, like, fight.
No.
And shockingly, he didn't try anything. He didn't threaten to fight me or anything.
Right.
But I mean, she often tried to do that. She was like, oh, like,
send you like threats and stuff like that.
My brother will beat you up, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like,
been there.
Okay. I'm like,
been there, done that.
You can send him, and guess what? I'll have a casual conversation with him if he wants.
Yeah.
And I'll explain the situation. But I mean, it is what it is. I can't, like.
Yeah.
No, this is high school.
I've been through, dude. Like, y'all remember? Like, I was a huge player. I was a huge player. Like, even my mom would call me manho because, like, yo, I wasn't. This was a funny thing though. I was not, like, purposely trying to, like, get with these girls. I was just doing me, but I was hanging out with people who was associated with those girls, so it was just, like, kind of happened naturally. But then, like, when I started talking to them and engaging them and stuff like that, there was this one time where I was talking, and I should have did the better thought of, like, cutting one off and not going to the other one, because you gotta always remember girls talk. Oh, yeah. Doesn't matter how far or strain away their personalities are, girls always talk. There's always that girls talk. And there was a time that they were both, like, talking about me on Facebook and stuff like that, and I didn't even know about it. And then someone hit me up. They're like, hey, like just letting you know, like, and it was a female that was telling me, and she actually stood up for me. She was, like, saying, y'all are fucked up. Like, just because he was talking to you and then he talked to you, y'all couldn't put two and two together and just be like, hey, like, just confront him in person. Like, actually, I know this kid. Yeah, actually, I know this kid, and y'all didn't have the audacity to at least approach him respectfully, and you guys are over here shitting on him and stuff like that. Yeah. And I talked to her, like, straight up in the face. I was like, hey, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I actually really appreciate that. Like, that's really nice of you to actually, like, do that for me. And she's like, no problem. It's like, because I know them both, and I'm close friends with them, and just the fact for them to do that, like that's ridiculous. But she's like, it was a little fucked up what you did, and I was like, I'll be honest, that was fucked up. It is,
but you do it to someone's face. You don't plaster it all over social media.
Because again, that's that middle school, high school bullshit. Because you gotta talk to the person face to face. Confrontation. Yep. Confrontation. Communication. This is what it's all about. Confrontation. If I had a problem with you, then I'll approach you straight up directly. Like, hey, Mike, I didn't really like what you said, or like, hey, dude, I'm not really comfortable with what you did back then. Like that's not cool. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta address it right then. You can't address shit that happened like 5 or 6 years ago, because that had 5. Now, if it happened like 5 minutes ago, whatever like that, then yeah, definitely. But again, you got to say it right then and there, because not everybody has the best memory, but people can at least recall what they did. But again, if you fall into that category of being intoxicated, there is that time where people kind of black out, especially, like, I hate to say it, I mean, it's actually on both parties. male and female.
They'll say something they don't mean.
Because we're our strongest honest when we're intoxicated because we got that liquor loose. That's what they call it. Yep. Liquor loose.
True feelings come out.
Liquor confidence. It's liquor loose, liquor confidence. And when you get that liquor loose, liquor confidence, everything is just like coming out. And I've exhibited it all. I've seen it like from like so many males and females and stuff like that because they get to a certain point that they're so tight, and they hold everything in. Then next you know, they're liquor loose, and it's just like they come up to you, it's like, yo, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. Like, I'm kind of pissed. I'm like, all right, let's talk about it. Like, bro, I'm here. It's just like straight up, bro. Like, I didn't like what you did. You know, like this time or whatever like that. It's like, well, I'm sorry, bro, that you feel that way. Well, like I didn't mean no disrespect and whatever like that. But like, you know. You gotta let me know if something that I did to you wasn't cool, whatever, like that, you know, and then y'all just hash it out like that. Or to a female would be like, oh, well, like, you kind of, like, fucked me over or whatever like that and all this stuff, and I felt used and everything like that. Well, why didn't you say that right then and there? You know? Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of it is the lack of communication, and I tell Sierra all the time, I say, communication is key. Communication is key. If you don't have that conversation and communicate, then where's your relationship gonna go? Where's your marriage gonna go? Where's your friendship gonna go?
Like just like in an example, if I go into the fridge and then I grab like food or whatever like that was meant for someone, whatever like that, it's just like, oh, who ate that? That was supposed to be for like, so and so, whatever like that.
Or you grab a 12-pack of soda and then suddenly you take off, and next thing you know, you're like at the beach posting pictures, drinking soda, and I'm like, this motherfucker just took my fucking soda.
Yeah.
And then took off and went to the beach, but he can't pay like this or that. Like, if you're not like, hey, like, can I borrow like 5-6 sodas to take to the beach so that way I can have, you know, a drink on the way down, a couple drinks there, and then one last drink on the way back.
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, sure. Or even like a 12-pack. But, yeah. I mean, granted, 12 packs are like $8 now, but
dude, and oh my god,
crazy.
That's different topic, but it's crazy how expensive things have gone. It's sickening because it's just how we were living prior before.
It's gone.
It's gone, dude. Dollar Tree even it's
like
a Dollar Tree.
It's like $5 Tree. It's like Five Below. Five Below turned into like an actual regular store.
Yeah.
Some stuff there is $5. But
freaking
you go to Five Below and there's like stuff for $5, $10, $25. Even I've seen stuff in there for like $30, and I'm like, I thought it was Five Below, not Five Above.
The last time I went to Five Below, I got myself a massage roller. Now, granted, it wasn't the best. I don't know. Maybe it was the material or because I was a little bit more hefty.
Prime example with this microphone. You get what you pay for.
Listen, again, yes, You do get what you pay for. Yeah, that's...
Well, you said it best, that I'm a bargain shopper. I shop bargain, store brand, whatever it is. I try and get it, but I mean, you can't cut every corner. You gotta cut some corners, and then some corners you gotta splurge.
Yeah.
You gotta, put forth that effort.
Well, if it's something that you're gonna be investing a lot of time in, then you might as well splurge and pay that extra amount, because you're thinking longevity wise, because if it's something you're going to be using every single day, then you might as well, like a vacuum.
Yeah.
You don't want to get a fucking cheapo deepo fucking vacuum. No, you want a vacuum that's going to clean up, get the fur, even get water. Dude, I'm getting 3 for the price of 1. Granted, I'm paying like maybe like $300 or $400, but that bitch is gonna last me long. All I gotta do is change the filter, clean it out, make sure I dump it and stuff like that. Store it away. Don't put the wire away in a bad way, whatever. Wrap it up and make sure that bitch is nice and tight and tuck.
Wrap it up before you do it.
Even if it's a quickie.
But no, and definitely like bringing it on back to the topic of communication, and I mean that's another human bad habit, is to not communicate. Like you said, we bottle it up, and like I am the type where I'm loosey goosey. I drink enough alcohol, I start blabbing. I'll like talk about how I'm feeling, or if someone asks me how I'm feeling, I'll let them know and be
But
like,
isn't
hey,
that the
this is how I
usual
feel.
answer though? Because every time people ask a person how they're doing, they always say, "I'm okay,"
Like, I'm good.
or "I'm good," because you
They
don't want to
literally-
give the person more. You don't want to give them the whole
Evidence.
entree.
Yeah.
You don't want to give them the whole entree. You want to give them like just a little piece, so that way they're like, "Okay, like why are you feeling only okay, or why are you saying okay? I guess."
And I think it's human nature because you see it all over social media, whatever. They even got posters that you can buy that say, "I'm okay, I'm all right, I'm doing good," or whatever, and then it's in the shape of like some fucked up shit, like a freaking noose or something, and you're like, "Dude, what the fuck?" You're like, "That's
Because
fucked up."
it stems. It
does.
stems and it connects, and people don't realize that, like, everybody is going through shit. Now, it's not to say that it means to be comparable, because you can't compare someone's losses to yours. You can't compare what you're suffering through to someone else's suffering. Everyone's going through shit and stuff like that. Everybody has a backstory and everything like that, which is, it happens.
Yeah. And that's why I'm very careful with what I say. And I mean, I know everybody's like, oh, we always have to be careful with what we say now. And it's like, it's not necessarily that we have to be careful with every single thing that we say. But
you just gotta know.
You gotta know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I can't, like, I'm not gonna come in and, like, let's say your mom passed away. Knock on wood, definitely. But let's say your mom passes away. My mom passed away, but that doesn't mean I'm going to go to you and be like, oh, I know exactly how you feel. Like, my mom passed away, so I know exactly how you feel. This is what I did to cope with it, because everybody's different. You might cope differently. You might feel differently.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe your mom showed you more love and affection than my mom did. Maybe there's a lot of, pieces
Different
to
factors,
the puzzle.
different
factors that may not be in my puzzle or in my factors. And so I usually, when something like that comes up, I usually say, like, hey, I have a general idea of how you're feeling, but you probably feel different. If you want, we can talk about it, or if you want to leave it as is and, hit me up when you're ready, or if you want to talk about little stuff, or you want to talk about something totally different, or if you want to preoccupy your mind, we could play a game, we could, you want to read a book or watch YouTube or whatever.
Whatever is your coping mechanism, and then it stems back to the unhealthy habits, because again, when shit hits the fan, we go to our coping mechanism to certain things that we would do to kind of differentiate or kind of like push away from the problem, so that way we're not dealing it at this. The problem's still gonna be there, but you're just sustaining it, and you're postponing it because you're trying to keep yourself occupied, so that way something doesn't happen and you don't feel any like bad type of way. I think the best remedy for unhealthy habits is definitely, one, keeping yourself occupied, two, giving yourself those natural dopamines, the same type of dopamines you would get when you're drinking or when you're smoking. You got to try to figure out ways to kind of replicate that, so that way if you are going to do that, at least you still made the benefit out of it. Like, you went to the gym this morning, but you're also drinking, but you still got something out of the day. What I mean?
Maybe you cut back and you only drank like one or two beers or one or two shots or whatever.
Yeah.
But you went to the gym, you worked on a drawing, you worked on music or something.
Or you read more pages in your book or whatever that. Whatever is, your coping mechanism. But yeah, man, it's crazy that the way that things are and how people kind of react to certain things, and it's very it's kind of like walking on eggshells.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to offend the person and stuff like that, because again, you don't know what the person's been through. So there's just that thin line where it's just I could say this, but I don't know how that person's going to feel. I could say that, or I could do that, but then I don't know how that person's feel, because one minute you're coming into it in a more understanding, a little bit of a playful way, and then they'll take it kind of disrespectful. It's that's kind of fucked up. It's oh no, I didn't mean no disrespect. I'm just saying I know where you're coming from because I went through it too. So we're both in the same boat. You can't really say something like that if
Well,
someone
yeah.
passed away. I see what you're. Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Like, you could say you relate to the person, but you also don't want to be like, oh yeah, I know exactly how you're feeling to a T. Like,
Yeah.
I know your puzzle. Like, I've studied your puzzle inside and out.
Yeah.
And this is how you got to do it. Like, no, you don't know. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, a small example of like communication. Like, I already communicated to myself and solved this issue because it wasn't even an issue. But last night, me and you were talking, and I was like, my job provides, and like you said, like I find that knack, and it gets under someone's skin, and I kind of was like telling myself, is he telling me like, hey, like this is getting under my skin, like.
No, because
But at the same time,
yeah.
I was like, no, he knows I'm joking. He knows, like, at the end of the day,
That's
we're
the
both
thing,
making
because
money.
you know a person, so you're able to kind of like bounce off each other. So that's why I've been called so many things. Like, one of my favorite things I always like love to like remember, and this was from a comedian, is like, trust me, there ain't nothing you could say to me that I haven't said to myself 6 feet from the mirror. There ain't nothing
Yeah.
because it's just like, when you think about it, it's just like, bro, like it's a straight up truth, because we're our hardest critics.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna tell me like, oh, you're a piece of shit, or you're an asshole, or you're fucking ugly, like, yo, I've been called myself that.
Or someone else has done it.
You know what I'm saying?
You're you're preaching to a choir.
You telling me this don't do shit to me.
So my thing is too, I mean, and then in the aspect of like, you had said, oh, I'm gonna call it here. Then I was like, oh, let's record the podcast, and you were like, oh, we'll do it tomorrow. And I was like, dang, he feels some type of way. And then afterwards, this is where, like I said, I addressed it to myself. I was like, oh no, he's fine. He's just genuinely tired. Because I mean, I'm like, I gotta remember that me and you work a laborsome job.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's hot as hell. It was like 93 degrees yesterday, and then like 90 degrees the day before. So I mean,
yeah,
and you're still getting used to it too.
And
like
for
environment.
Me, dude, I cranked up all the ACs in the classrooms. I was like, and they're just doing the ACs right now in the classrooms. So it's just
I mean,
bruh.
It's and a lot of people have to do that. It's like communication, bring it up to the person, or self-assess it and be like, hey, like, am I reading into this too much?
Yeah.
Am I like over exaggerating this?
Yeah.
And I mean, if you feel like, hey, I'm not over exaggerating this, it might actually be something, that's when you need to take the initiative and address it.
Yeah.
But if you can tell yourself, yeah, I'm overthinking this, I can move on. Go ahead, move on.
Yeah.
If it's a problem for the other person will address you. If they don't address you, then that's their choice.
Yeah.
They're choosing to not communicate.
Yeah.
But on that note, I think wrap this up, you think?
Yeah, definitely wrap this up. Good take and good practice. So, yeah.
Wrap it before you tap it.
Even if it's quickie.